thank you guys for coming. Round of applause.
Who's got a steel ticket?
Hi everybody, my name is Miss Wolfie, or I am the character Lupita. I've been in the furry fandom for years and suiting for about 3, so I think I'm pretty qualified to talk about the do's and the don'ts.
And my name is Harper, and I have multiple suits, and I've been suiting for the fandom for only 2 years, but I'm in a group called Critters by the Bay, where we fursuit especially at a place called Fairyland, which is for like, literally you can't get in unless you're in Critters by the Bay or you're a little kid with a parent. It's very hard to get in, but I think I'm pretty qualified if I can somehow get in there. It's a long process, but worth it. It's so much fun.
So we're going to ask we do questions at the end because although we do have an hour and a half, we have a lot to talk about. So we're going to also we're doing a raffle. We're going to pass out more raffle tickets at the end. First, we're going to do the raffle at the end, and then questions. So let's go ahead and get started. Man,
You can go ahead and keep your hand up as long as you like. Just keep it up for the whole panel.
Okay, seriously, get out of the front.
All right, everyone. So we're going to talk about. First off, is that you don't need a fursuit to follow these rules. And we're going to talk about both tips with interacting with fursuits. So, suit or not, a lot of this will apply to all of you. Trust me when I say that.
so the number 1 rule for fursuiting is your health, all right? So that means eating 3 meals a day, plenty of water, and taking breaks. Okay?
Showers.
And showers. Yes. At Furrycons, I average like 3 showers a day. You get sweaty, and it's please, everybody shower. We all sleep. We don't feel bad.
Plenty of other rest.
It's pretty important to have good health because one of the things that fursuiters can happen is heat stroke. And here we clock in at like over 100 degrees. That is why it is important to like take breaks and make sure you're at the peak of your health.
And for people who are out of costume, notice the signs. If you see a suitor lying on the ground and they're not moving a lot or they're not moving at all, always go over and ask if they're okay. If they don't respond, call Conops or Flare or get help, and all that information is on the back of your badge. So if you see a fursuiter, just either that, and always, especially if you're a spotter, always check in on your the fursuit you're with. See if they need water, if they need a break, because like if they're interacting with kids and they want to get away, but the kids keep pulling them in, ask them if they're okay, and if they say I need a break, just find a way to get them out there. Yeah.
So if you see a fursuiter with the symptoms, yeah, you definitely want to get caught up or even call 911. It kind of may be a little scary to open a panel with like, you might die if you fursuit, but like, no, it's a serious problem. And the number 1 rule of suiting is your health. So we want to make sure everybody is healthy and happy. So the second rule is fursuiting is fun. Yeah, it's all about getting into a different character, being somebody else for a weekend, because 9 to 5 work day, it sucks. But if you could just be a fluffy animal for a couple hours at a con, it's so liberating. And the fun thing is, you can be whatever you want. It's your character. There's no limitations. It is only your imagination is what can limit you on your character. And this fandom is all about like finding yourself and like fighting yourself. So that's what I like.
And I have to say, one of our subjects that we have here, acting. Acting is a huge part of fursuiting, although it's not completely necessary. Like,
Some example is him.
That's an example right here. If you have a suit with a grumpy expression, act grumpy. If you're happy, act happy. Like, wouldn't it be weird if I was wearing this head here and I was just like, instead of acting, just like, I'm just like standing here. I'm basically a walking carpet. I'm a walking carpet, but instead I could be like, woo, and having fun and bouncing around and stuff. And well, honestly, if you act in your fursuit, I've noticed that a lot of people, the fursuiters are act most in their fursuit get the most attention. They get the most pictures taken. I would know because when I get into suit, I just go crazy and yeah.
But of course, your health is important first, so
Yeah, so-
don't.
If you're exhausted, then you have that being exhausted, overheated, or anything of the sort is a perfectly fine excuse to not be like, even if you're like a hardcore actor, if you're hot, yeah, if you're like dying.
Now, when it comes to fursuiting, and I see this a lot. Personally, I have an Instagram and I get a lot of questions about this. People are looking for cheap, quick fursuits. Let's not do that, okay? Fursuits are very expensive because they like the materials that needed and the hours that take it. And I know how much fun it can be to like immediately get your character in the suit. But personally, in my experience, the best advice I can give you is to wait and save your money. And also, if you're a minor and you're looking to get into a suit, I recommend waiting at age 18. Not only that, because as a minor, you're still under your parents' like guidance. And also, when you turn 18, you can have freedom from, you can have your own money, your own job, and start saving. And also, like when you're under 18, you're still growing. So you may get a suit, and 2 years later, you can't fit it. So my recommendation is waiting for a fursuit and saving money. And also, there's hundreds or even thousands of fursuit makers out there. Different styles, like Toonie, I'm sure there's realistic heads out there we've all seen. So best advice, save and wait, hunt around for a fursuit maker that you like, because there are thousands of them.
Although, if you're underage and you really like, oh my god, I need a fursuit, like at 16, I had my job at 16. I could easily afford a fursuit within like a week since I didn't have to pay for anything. What I personally did, I started with a partial because I knew that I don't think my head's gonna get any bigger unless like my ego inflates mine. But I just started with a head and hands and a tail because obviously you're not gonna grow anywhere that your tail wouldn't fit. But I would not recommend ever getting a full suit as a minor because there's always a chance, like she said, you might grow. So at least if you get a fursuit, get the parts that won't grow, like your head. But don't get I would recommend getting a fursuit for 4 or 5. Your head's for sure gonna grow that. Yeah.
Now, this part is not only for fursuiters, but non-fursuiters as well. It's approaching a fursuiter. Okay, so we're going to do a little quick demonstration. So we're going to show a great way to approach a fursuiter and a bad way to approach a fursuiter. Do you want to be our example? No. So we'll start off with the bad way to approach a fursuiter. So let's say he's out on the dance floor having a good time and he's like the most famous person.
Turn your back to me though. Trust me.
All right, go ahead and demonstrate. This is the bad way. You don't want to run up behind a suitor because, well, obviously they can't see behind them, and also you can damage them, damage the suit. And the best way to approach a fursuiter is this way.
Hey, can I give you a hug? Is that okay? All right, awesome, yay!
Yay, everybody's happy, and that's the best way to approach a fursuiter. And we like that because we can't see what's going on, and it's like a little uncomfortable when somebody like hugs you from behind. You're like, who is this?
Also, you never know who's under that suit. They could have a major medical problem. Personally, I have very weak kneecaps. And one time, someone actually hugged me so hard that my knee almost fell. I twisted my knee so bad I had to go to a chiropractor's and get that dealt with for a little bit. It didn't take long, but they just hugged me so hard, and I wasn't expecting it either. So like my knee caved in, and you never know who's under that suit. They could have some sort of medical thing that you could accidentally mess without realizing it. So it's always good to ask, and yeah. Another fursuiting do is to get a handler. I mean, I understand the cons. If you don't want to have a handler, that's fine. You're at a convention. But when you're out and about on like street, going to a park, it's always good to have a handler because in most suits, a big majority of suits, trust me, I've tripped so many times in my fursuit. I have run into stuff because I was stupid enough to not have a handler with me. And I've tripped on train tracks, and it was not a good time. So always try your best to have a handler with you. And I lost my train of thought. And it just went out of the station and just kind of flew into oblivion.
So a handler is somebody who's not in suit, like a significant other, friend, who's there to guide you around the convention or in public spaces. There's somebody who is there to be your eyes, guide you downstairs, and interact with people out in public. Because not everybody knows what a furry is, and it's really good there to have somebody else there as help, just in case, you get in trouble or you need help. Well, now, in a convention space like this, it's nice because, we have that nice element of all these eyes are watching us, and there's a little more of like, oh, I feel like I can suit by myself, but still have that, safety to it. But when it comes to public, I really recommend suiting with a handler or even in a group. That's the best advice because out there, obviously, people aren't really too fond of furries, or if they see a mascot, they're like, oh, a punching bag, yay! And so the best thing is get somebody who you trust and can help you fursuit. Yeah. So this is those of you who know me, I am the Queen of Clean. I have a YouTube channel where I talk about cleaning fursuits. Wash your fursuit! Yes, the washing is the most important thing. Like, it is definitely a fursuit to do. So here, give me 1 second here. I promise I'm prepared. So when it comes to washing fursuits, the first thing you think is like water on fur. No, you can't do that. Well, actually, it's a necessity. As people we sweat, it gets gross. So washing a suit is super imperative. So one of the things I personally use, this is a soap I use, it's called the Light Delicate. I've used it, other fursuiters use it. It's the best thing ever. It's safe on colors, whites, everything. And so you're definitely going to want to use cold water when washing. So,
Always use cold water, heat melts fursuit.
yeah, so we want to use cold water and also air dry when it comes to suits. Because, in case you didn't know, fur is plastic. It's like a weird type of plastic. So what happens when you get heat and plastic together? It gets completely ruined. So as you see on this side, this is what happens when you use heat, and then this side is like regular fur. We can pass that around to show people. Because once this damage happens, you can't go back. So that's very important to use cold water when washing your suits.
Oh, that's professional.
So how I wash my suit is there's several ways. You can do tub washing where you obviously throw the tub inside out, or you can use it delicate cycle on a machine. There's a washing machine. Again, you have to really ask your fursuit maker because every suit is different. There's airbrushing involved. You're gonna have to talk to your maker and say, hey, what's the best way I can wash my suit? But how I do it is I turn everything inside out, throw it in the washing machine on delicate, cold, remember cold? Okay, with about a cup size of this. That washes everything except the head. So now let's talk about washing the head. So it's not a necessity, but it's something I do. When it comes to washing like feet paws or anything with foam, you don't want to submerge this, and especially when it comes to fursuits with painted on eyes, that could damage the eyes of the suit. So with foam like hands or feet paws and heads, you want to hand wash. With the same soap here, and you just kind of go with the direction of the fur, being gentle and being clean because we all love clean fursuiters. So when it comes to a con, you can't really clean a fursuit. So how do we keep our suit from not stinking so bad? And, come on, we all sweat here. I'm sweating right now, okay? So what a lot of people do is a disinfectant of 50% isopropyl alcohol and water. And they put it, and they mix it in a spray bottle like this. This actually disinfects the suit it gets rid of the bacteria that would make your suit smell. I use this all the time. It's super imperative, especially like cons and stuff like that.
There are also companies out there that make fursuit sprays.
Right. So there's a couple people out there who make scented fursuit sprays. This is the same mixture. This is the same mixture as this, but with like special fursuit safe color stuff. And these have different scents. Anything you want. Mint, strawberry. This one, for example, is Wash Your Paws. Just Google fursuits, good smelly sprays, and they're out there. These are a quick fix. Like if you're at a con, just go, oh, you smell bad, and there you go. But of course, this is not an alternative. This is just for cons and like stuff because you will definitely need to wash your suit. That makes sense. Yes, milk is strawberry.
That's fine.
So okay, so when it comes to drying a fursuit, I personally don't put it in the dryer just because, like I said, heat will damage it. And even if your washing machine or drying machine has a cold setting, there's just too much factors in there, and it's just too much. So when it comes to drying a suit, you want to make sure that all the water is out. That's why I recommend machine washing means it gets all the water out, hanging it up, and drying for 12 hours because that's how long this suit takes to dry. Woo! Yeah, so long process. Every 20 minutes you're brushing, and that's one of the things you have to do when it comes to suit is drying forever. Okay. Sorry. All right, so brushing. Love to be brushed. Brushing is another like health or imperative thing when it comes to keeping your suit clean, because suits over time can get matted and look kind of gross. So brushing is super important when it comes to like long hair furs or any type of fursuit in that matter. I personally use a slicker brush. It's for animals, pets, and whatnot. However, you don't want to do this because it'll actually pull the fur out. So
Because the fursuit fur is not like a dog's fur, it won't grow
it
back.
won't grow back. Yeah, right. So we flip it around and we go, oh, that feels good. Woo, yeah. So that's how we do that. Okay. And it's also imperative to brush your suit before you suit. If you can, while you're suiting, and then after. That way it doesn't get all tangled and gross. And the best thing you can do. And also, one final thing when it comes to cleaning suit is you. We want you to be clean. So that means showering before you suit and after you suit. If you're clean, your suit will stay clean longer. So I also have a YouTube channel that goes way more into detail about washing. It's Miss Wolfie, or just type in fursuit wash care online. And that's my little segment of washing. Because that is definitely a fursuit do. I do not want to see any dirty suits out there. I'm washing you guys.
Storing your fursuit. Alright. So it's good to keep your... I mean, I just hang up my fursuit in my closet because I have like a walk-in closet. I have enough room for all my suits.
Okay.
So I just hang it up there and then
So when it comes to storing fursuits, the best way is to make sure it's in room temperature. But let's say you put it out in the garage. Well, it's summer. Your suit might melt. Or if it's winter, too cold. So I personally, it's kind of hard to tell. I put my suits in these giant boxes here. And this helps keep dust out, bugs out, and keeps them clean. I put mine in my closet in those boxes, and that's how I store suits. Now, sometimes heads won't fit in those boxes. You can get another box to store the head, or what I do is I hang my heads on the wall like some weird kind of like hunter. that's what I do.
Personally, I have a shelf in my closet that I'm gonna put my suits there for now until I have too many to put up there. Because I can fit about 4, and then I run out of room. I'm almost at 5.
Yeah, and you want to make sure that you don't store your suit if it's still wet, like after you washed it, because actually mold can grow. So you want to make sure it's completely dry before you store anything. And
No one likes a moldy suit.
No, we don't want that.
Personally, I haven't seen any moldy suits, but I really don't want to.
So another fursuiting do is going to events. Congratulations, you guys did a fursuiting do. Convention. Go to like local furry cons, meetups, and you don't need a fursuit to go to an event. We love all people, like the furry community is all about love and acceptance. You don't have a suit, fine. Come to these events. It's a fursuiting do and a non-fursuiting do. So we just love seeing people and coming out to cons because it's not just about the fursuiters when it comes to conventions. It's about us as a community. So keep that in mind.
Now we are on to the don'ts. A big don't. Never pull on a fursuiter's tail or ears. Teach this to your kids. Teach this to everybody. I have almost had my tail ripped off my fursuit at a gathering. Not a gathering. I was fursuiting at Christmas in the park, and these kids just kept pulling on my tail, and I heard a big rip. And I was like, okay, I need to get out of here. It didn't rip fully. It was just a little tear, and I had to fix it, which I was pissed about. Just don't do it. Fursuits aren't a lot of fursuits aren't as durable as they look. They can take a little bit of like hugging and petting, but never pull it. It's also just rude. It's not good. Don't do it. Don't be that one person. Or answer questions at the end.
Well, it's not a question, it's a
Oh,
add-on.
yeah?
Also, some fursuiters don't want a boop on the nose, especially if it might be a resin or maybe a resin beak.
We're definitely
Something
going to cover
break.
consent later and how to do that, yeah.
Yeah, that is
So-
a big one.
Another fursuiting don't is please don't go naked under your fursuit, okay? I mean, it sounds like a good idea. It gets hot in here, why not? I mean, come on, it's easy on, easy off. Well, let me tell you a thing. Let's say you get sick or you have a heat stroke. They start to unzip. We don't want to go further than that. Or let's say you're hot. We want to leave that to the imagination, right? So, what many, if not all, fursuiters wear under their fursuit is Under Armour or any type of lycra, stretchy, sweat-wicking away material. This, I know it sounds gross, actually keeps your sweat inside. Okay.
It uses it to cool you down.
And yes, it uses to cool you down.
When the wind hits you, it's like when you jump in the pool, you get out and the wind starts hitting you, you know, it's cold. Like if you're in a warm pool, you get out and then it's cold. It's kind of like that because it just cools you down.
When it comes to fursuiting, we like cold. So.
Yeah. See, that's why you notice when fursuiters just walking along and then they just stop and go like this.
Because they hit a breeze.
They hit a breeze, exactly.
Yeah, like I was saying, it keeps the sweat in because it is a lot easier to clean this. You throw it with your clothes and dirty laundry. And sweating directly onto the suit makes it dirty quicker. It gets dirty quicker, you smell gross, it's not a good thing. So there's also obviously a pair of pants that go with these, but I couldn't find it. We're all at cons, everything is missing, okay? Yes, and another thing. Another thing to wear with fursuit heads is a balaclava. Woo! I look like Buzz Lightyear.
Infinity and beyond.
So,
To fursuiting and beyond.
yeah, no, definitely. This keeps the hair out of your eyes. Probably
And the
is
sweat.
right now.
Keeps the sweat out of your eyes.
Yeah, it keeps the sweat out, and also again, the same thing with this. It collects the sweat, and it doesn't really sweat onto the head, and it is a lot harder to clean the inside of head than cleaning, let's say, a balaclava. Matrices is actually selling them in the dealer's den, $10. Super good. Oh, no more thing. Socks, obviously, you need to wear clean socks with your shoes, and some people actually wear gloves with the paws. I personally don't, because I always wash my hands, but that is totally up to you, decision-wise.
I fursuited once without socks and it was the worst experience of my life.
So this is probably going to be weird, and I apologize. So another thing, some fursuiters wear, if I can get the zipper off. A little technical difficulty here, no big deal. Oh, well, I guess I'm living in here now.
It's like Arizona in there.
I'm dying, no.
Love you, Arizona.
That's nothing like it.
Let's see, let's brush it out. Let's see. Remember we talked about brushing? This might help. Ah! So, one thing for suitors wear, I know this is super weird, I apologize. This is a easy cool down vest. Now they're kind of a little bit on the pricey range and something to invest in, but oh my goodness, does this help. So basically what this is, it's just as what it says, it's a type of vest. And inside are these like little tiny ice pack inserts. This is like a godsend. Thank you, Easy Wolf. This, honestly, I don't know how I suited without it. It keeps you at a constant like 70 degrees, which you know doesn't sound the best, but when you're at 100 degrees in this thing, just the right temperature, awesome stuff. Now again, it's a little on the pricey side at like $200, but personally I think it's a good investment, especially if you're wanting to, you know, have a fursuit and longevity, because I used to go from only suiting for like 1 hour to like 5, but again, not everybody wears this. It's just an option for you guys. I know that was kind of weird, like, hey. Hey, let me show you the stack, but hey. Sorry. Sorry, what? It's a Easy Cool Down, and it's by Easy Wolf. And they come in different sizes, different types of temperature variations. I think they're located in like Sweden. Super cool, super fantastic. I forgot to bring it, but another thing fursuiters wear under their suit is a water pack, or even outside their suit. With me, it's kind of hard. I got a lot going on back here. But,
Like a camelback?
Yeah, camelback, yeah. And that gives you quick and easy. There you go, there we go. Thank you. Thank you. And it gives you quick access to water, just in case you're shooting out in public, you don't want to take your head off. And I personally wear that. I just kind of forgot. Like I said, we're at a con, you know, things get lost, things get like, where are they? So.
You can stick it in your mouth if it opens.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that.
Ooh, you want to talk about this one? Yes. Okay.
Do not scritch fursuits. Oh my goodness. This means digging your nails or fingers into the fur and scratching.
We don't want that.
It may be fun with like regular dogs and cats, but fursuits do not like it. It can damage the fur. It'll make it it'll mess up the fursuit sometimes, make it all scruffy and weird. If you're gonna pet a fursuit, pet like again, like in the way the fur goes, like that.
Woo, we love this angel dragon and all. You are so cute. We are going with the fur. We are not scritching. We don't like that. And also, one more thing is keep your hands clean, especially when it comes to white on the face. White is the hardest thing to clean. Please have clean hands. Please, I beg you.
On that subject, when I went to Fairyland, a kid approached me covered in cotton candy. I had to wash my food. That took forever to clean out.
Yeah, no,
But I got it out.
But again, you want to ask before you pet or a fursuiter, which we're going to cover consent here shortly. Also, another good way to pet is with the back of your hand if you have dirty hands, like that. Sorry, hold on one second. Okay, so when it comes to suiting in public, this is kind of a, not a difficult, but unique topic to talk about because every situation is different. Like we covered before, we want to make sure that we have a handler with us when it comes to suiting in public because, you know, we have people out there who aren't really interested in furries. So when it comes to suiting in public, you want to make sure you look into the area rules and regulations before you go. This means a park, mall, bowling alley. You want to make sure you get clearance before you go into suit in public because not everybody is accepting furries.
And you don't want to go to an event, like you decide to host an event, say at a bowling alley, and you just go without asking and you get kicked out. All those people just drove there for nothing.
Yeah, so
You
you
don't want to
definitely,
run into an incident like that.
definitely want to make sure you get like permission, clearance, and written agreed consent before you go to publicly suit. And if an authority comes, like a cop or a manager, and you're out there in a suit and they say they don't want this, take off your head. Do not argue with them. We want to make sure we have a good, positive outlook on the community. So, like, if anybody in authority says, hey, I don't want this here, I don't want none of this weird, furry baloney, just say, okay, I apologize, and head on your merry way. And that's why it's important to get consent before that way that doesn't happen, because it happens. Okay, so on the topic of suiting out in public, again, not everybody's accepting. And if you're being, let's say a group of teenagers are pestering you in suit, and you're just like not having a good time, you want to say no and stop. That's why, this is important to have a handler, because they'll be able to help you with this situation.
They'll be your voice.
They'll be your voice. And if anything, ignore them, walk away, or if they keep continuing, say, hey, I got the police on the line. Hello. Like, we just want you guys to know that we want you to have fun, but you also have to realize that there's some precautions when it comes to fursuiting in public. Okay. This is kind of a fun one. So, excuse me. So, I'm coming down here. I hope you all can see me. Within the community, there's something called a drop crotch fursuiter, and that's me. Hello, I'm drop crotch fursuiter. I'm sorry. I have a low drop crotch. Okay, that's kind of weird again, but my hips are here, so you can definitely see that, like, whoa there. So, when it comes to like fursuiting and petting, like on the belly, you want to make sure you know where your hands are going. I don't want to go into more detail, but it's happening. So you want to make sure that you kind of avoid that area, because it gives that weird illusion of like, where is everything? So just keep that in mind. I know that's another, what's that? I know that's like another weird topic to talk about, but we want everybody to have a safe, good time and not be weird and creepy. Yeah!
Just keep your seat warm for you.
Thank you. It's not like I'm not warm enough already.
So, the topic of children. Try your best not to take your suit head off around children. If there is a child bothering you, alert your handler and let them give a signal that you want to go. Also, if someone asks you to hold their child like a baby, don't do it.
No.
If you drop that child, there will be lawsuit, you'll be in trouble, it won't end well for you, because keep in mind that the majority of us are adults, and even like touching a child at all, like for a hug or anything, you still need to be cautious. Keep an eye on the parent, because if the parent's like, ugh, and then you hug their child, then they'll be really like, ugh.
Yeah, no, when it comes to children, when it comes to suiting around children, that is a very
It's a
gray
tough
area, and it's a tough situation. The number one rule when it comes to children is do not approach children. You might scare them, and you're going to have an angry parent. We don't want angry parents.
Don't approach them, let them approach you.
Yeah, definitely. And also the topic of holding a child. I have 4 fingers. I can't. Sometimes you just. It's not a good. Just don't touch no, think about children. So yeah, you want the child to approach you, and if the child, let's say, is super terrified of you, just say, oh no, that's okay. Don't be like, hi, I want to be your friend. That would just be like, well, scare the child.
Usually what I do is I kneel down a bit to show them how to hold a hand out. If they back up, then I back up. Sometimes even when they act scared of me, I pretend to act scared of them. Because sometimes they'll think, oh, they won't seem as scared because you're not being all big and terrifying. You're being the one terrified. Because if you were a child, would you rather approach a big scary thing or like a little awkward cute thing?
So when it comes to photos of children, you have to be very careful, because the internet is very quick to judge. So, for example, I'll come down here to show real quickly. I'm sorry, guys. Do you mind sitting down? I'm sorry. Thank you, though. So when it comes to shooting with children, like I said, the internet may be quick to, consider things we don't want to think about. So let's say a child is here with me. I'm sorry. You guys can see me. Let's say I'm sitting all the way down. I want my hands visible to the camera. I don't want to be like behind the child or even like holding the child. Do this. It's the safest way. Nobody can assume anything. It's just be like, oh, hello there. It'll save us a lot of negative connotations we already have.
Nice hands.
Dab.
Yeah, for days.
Excuse me. Okay. So yeah, when it comes to shooting with children, it's best to have a handler. It's kind of a weird situation, and I personally try to avoid it because I have white, and children, we all know, are very stinky little beings. It's hard to believe, but sometimes it's unavoidable. You do the best situation you can. So consent. Consent is a huge fursuiting we do. We don't want running and tackling and flopping. I don't care if a telephone were to show up in here right now. Nobody's gonna like run up there and tackle her. That would just, the lights are gonna turn off. Who's doing it? Sorry, technical difficulties. Oh! Okay, party's over. Sorry guys. They're on a timer.
I guess that's obviously you said telephone.
Telephone.
Maybe they're on a
Yeah.
That's all I'm told.
Right. Okay, sorry, let's try that again. So like you don't want to tackle anybody from behind like we did with the example earlier. You always want to ask a suitor before you do any interaction. So you want to go up to them and say, or even pictures. Yeah, no, definitely. You always want to go up to a suitor and say, hey, hello there, can I take your picture? Sure. Or if they say no, then say, okay. You don't want to pressure them into doing something they don't feel comfortable doing because, I mean, even though we may be in a suit, that doesn't always mean that we want attention. I know that sounds weird, but we're kind of just doing it sometimes for our own personal leisure in a sense. So it is always important to ask a suitor if they can take pictures, hugs, or even talk. So it's important to, consent is a huge thing within the furry community, not just with fursuits, but people too. Okay? You don't want to be like, hey, how you doing? To like some weird stranger.
Do not follow fursuiters. Asking for hugs and talking is fine, but following them in the convention center is just a big no. It makes you feel like a stalker. It can make them feel, the suitor feel very, very uncomfortable. I've run into this incident before, and I'm just like, I've seen this person behind me like 50 times.
You know, like following people in general is just really creepy, okay? That's like, come on, think about that. I mean, sure they're a cute animal, but that's like, don't follow people around, especially not to the hotel room, because the security can be called, you can be in huge trouble, and just no, it's not a good thing.
It ain't cool.
And again, like I said previously, no means no. So if like they say no, I don't want to have a photo, just say okay, I'm good, and so we pretty much covered our do's and don'ts. We ended a little earlier than we wanted.
So it seems like a lot of people have come in, and that means I'm gonna have to pass out a lot of raffle tickets, and I don't know how long it's gonna take, so I think I should start now.
Yeah, so while she passes out the tickets, sorry, I didn't realize we were gonna end this early. I rehearsed this. I was like, oh yeah, we got 2 hours. Oh.
Need help?
I won't implode. I kind of skipped over a little bit, so we'll talk about what I skipped when it comes to cleaning. This is called Folex. This is a good thing to bring to cons and events, and this is a ticket. stains
All
on
right.
suits because sometimes things happen. I went to Anthrocon last year and I got motor oil on my tail. I was like, oh my gosh, and I thought it was over. I thought I had to leave the fan in. But no, this stuff is amazing. It gets out every stain like motor oil. It's called Folex. Thank you. Yes. And you can get it at, I believe, hardware stores, and you simply spray it on a rag and go with the direction of the fur, and over time it will come right out. You just have to be a little patient, and then you want to wipe it off with water when you're all done. Sorry I missed that. There's a lot going on up here. And then also a question was asked, how do you clean the insides of heads? So again, with the 50% isopropyl and water mix, this cleans the inside of the head and disinfects it. And you just simply go ahead and spray on in there. But when it comes to fursuit eyes, you want to make sure that you try to avoid the eyes as possible because it can melt or warp the paint. So I like to put like a little piece of toilet paper or whatnot on the eyes and just go ahead and spray on in there. And then I like to use a little bit of like fruity spray so it smells good. And then you want to put it on a fan so that it dries all the way on the inside. Sorry I missed that. We're good now.
We are done.
Is everybody done?
Okay, start that raffle.
So everybody has a raffle ticket, right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Yeah. I want to 5, 6, 8, 1, 0, 1.
The next thing we have up is a tail I made. I love purple. Alrighty, here we go again.
And the winner is 5, 6, 8, 1, 0, 3. All right.
Yes, thank you.
A Hyena's Agenda gift card for $25. This can be used in the dealer's den. So if you go down there, you can use this to purchase something up to $25.
All right, drum roll, please. Woo, all right.
5, 6, 8, 0, 0, 4. Congratulations.
All right. All right, guys. All right, that's the raffle. Thank you, guys. Now we're going to take questions. Do you think, should we line them up here or just? All right.
Let's pick on you guys.
All righty. All right, questions. Any questions you have? Okay, you in the orange jacket.
Yeah, do's and don'ts of traveling with your fursuit to on an airline.
So, okay, I can answer.
I think there was actually a panel for that.
I missed it on Friday.
There's
I missed it.
All right, if you didn't make it to that panel, I personally went to Anthrocon this year. Fantastic. And I traveled with this thing. She cried the whole time. It was terrible. No. So when it comes to traveling with suits, I personally recommend using your head as your carry-on and also having a satchel or a purse with you. No. Oh no, I totally forgot all the tickets right here. That's super fun. Everyone wins. Oh my gosh, that's the highlight of the day. So, like I said, you want to use this. When will it end? Everybody wins. Everybody wins. So what I did was I got a suitcase that fit this head perfectly as a kind of like a little roller suitcase, and I covered it in a trash bag to keep the dirt and gross airline stuff out, and I just gently stuffed it in there. Now some heads are bigger and smaller, so sometimes you won't be able to have that, I guess, luck with finding a suitcase that works. So what also I recommend is again, bagging it with a trash bag and just carrying that on with you as a carry-on. I know that looks super trashy, but you want to keep it, yeah, not trashy. But this keeps the dirt and germs away, and also, when it comes to airline TSA, they're going to ask you questions. Just say, I'm going to a anime con or something weird like that. You're going to get a lot of weird looks, but it's okay. Also, some fursuit heads actually have wiring in them for fans and electricity. I personally don't have that, and I did not run into this, but you definitely want to let TSA know or look that up in advance. I've heard people do have trouble with that getting on the flight, so look into that. I wish I could help you more with that, but look into the airline rules themselves that way. Now when it comes to bodysuits, you can just stuff that inside your suitcase. I rolled it up and tried to vacuum pack it, but this thing is 10 pounds, so that didn't work. Just rolling it up, and again, trying to stuff it in a plastic bag. Let's see, for the airplane. Oh yes, a lot of people like to use action packers, which is similar to the box I showed here with a removable lid. You don't want to use that, and the reason being, it has a removable lid. It can pop off. There is a suitor here who went to a con a couple years ago. Coming home, they just went to go pick up their box, and it was just the lid. They never got their suit back. So I do not recommend action packers. I recommend a zipping suitcase, like a hard one, and carrying your head on with you if possible. That's my recommendation for airline travel. Yes?
I'm not sure if it was mentioned, but there's also makers.
I can't really hear you, I'm sorry, dear.
There's something called a Pelican box that you can buy too. They're a little bit more expensive, they're about $200, $300, but they really work out well. They're a little on the heavier side, and really decent.
Okay, yeah, no, look into Pelican boxes, I'm not sure. I'm just giving you my recommendation for what I did. Sure. Yes?
Has anyone seen that one suitor with really, really tall, I think they're gazelle horns?
Oh.
He got stuck in the elevator twice.
Oh no!
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I have dragon tails, but taller antlers, I can see the
Yeah, they would just poke through everything. It's fantastic.
No, any more questions?
Walk through and then the little,
You
go like this.
in the green jacket.
Get stuck.
Yes, yes.
When it comes to the feet part of the fursuit, is there shoes you want in there, or do you have to go with just socks?
Oh, sure.
It depends on the feet. Every fursuit feet is different. Normally, fursuit feet are built off of a shoe, or the most common is that they're already built off a shoe, so you just slip it in, you're in a shoe already, just wear socks, or else it'll change, get uncomfortable and get sweaty. Or there's the slipper ones, which I wouldn't really recommend wearing a shoe in. So because
They're just slippers.
they're basically slippers. They're already technically shoes. So usually you don't need shoes. Yeah.
But always wear socks.
Always wear socks. Priorities.
Okay, more questions. Green baby.
You want to go over what you have on your tail?
Oh, sure. So,
I can hold them up instead of going all the way down there.
oh, I don't want it either way.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Whatever you want.
So, I have dragon tails, and they get dirty fast. They're like little, Swiffer things. So, what I'm wearing is a tail protector. Because this is a lot easier to clean than, let's say, the tail. Because the feathers on my tail are in light blue color. And I remember when I first got the suit last year, they were black by the end of the con. So, let's see. So, you can definitely see how dirty these get. So this is the protection I use for the tails. Sorry, it's kind of hard to hang it up. That's what they are. I know it's kind of weird looking. Anyway, that's what you do. A lot easier to clean that than the Swiffer duster tail. Okay.
Next question. Blue fursuit.
I was traveling through airlines.
I'm sorry, I can't quite hear you. Yeah, thank you.
I was traveling through airlines. What I did last month was, if you have a partial suit that may be easy to pack away, you can grab a small duffel or a
or a small hard case, and you can use that to tuck away your head in there, and for one bag, and then everything else like clothes, etc., as in another. And what I did was I went through United Airlines, and that was around two carry-ons. Yeah, lots of carry-ons, man. So I just grabbed a duffel and, of course, my ears folded right in.
Oh, that's really convenient. Perfect.
So I was able to pack it like that, and do it through just fine.
Very cool.
Basically, every fursuit's different, so do what your maker recommends, and if your maker doesn't have any recommendations, do what you either follow the advice you give you, or just do what you feel is right. Just know that fursuits are not indestructible. Always remember that. Fursuits are not some heavenly thing that if you throw into a volcano, they'll come out completely unharmed.
Any more questions? You in the back.
I just want to make a comment about taking photos of a suitor without their head on is not okay.
That's actually a really good thing, and I wish I covered that. Thank you. For those who didn't hear her, please don't take pictures of suitors without their heads on. A lot of people like to create this illusion that they're actually an animal. So just kind of try to avoid that, and especially we should all know, no photos in the headless lounge. So yeah, I wish I covered that. Thank you very much. Excuse me. Any more questions? Yes, Orange.
Do the con ops at various cons offer escorts if you don't have anybody with you?
Gosh, you know,
We can't answer that question because we do not know. I don't think they can, but that'd be more of a question for con ops.
you can ask them directly.
It might be best to ask them directly.
Actually, con-ops will have people that can escort you from one place to another, but I don't think it's all it. Because I've been escorted, except I got lost.
Okay, there's that. That answers a tiny bit of the question. Any other questions? No? Okay, thank you guys for coming. We're ending really early. Oh yes, thank you for being awesome and
And
coming
please
out.
enjoy the rest of your con.
Thank you guys. We appreciate it.